Preparedness content exists at the intersection of uncertainty, infrastructure dependence, and individual responsibility. Modern households operate within layered systems that are rarely examined until disruption occurs. Electricity supports water access, refrigeration, communication, banking, transportation, and heating. Food distribution depends on logistics networks that assume constant fuel availability, digital coordination, and labor continuity. Healthcare access relies on inventory systems, refrigeration, staffing, and transportation. When people think about disruption, the dominant mental models tend to involve dramatic events. In practice, disruption is often incremental. Power interruptions, supply delays, financial access issues, or regional service outages tend to occur unevenly and without a clear narrative. This creates a gap between abstract awareness and concrete preparation. Common responses to perceived instability often involve effort-heavy approaches. Some individuals accumulate equipment such as generators, solar panels, fuel reserves, or communication devices. These approaches introduce financial cost, maintenance requirements, storage constraints, and technical dependencies. Other approaches involve extensive training programs, detailed contingency planning, or long-term lifestyle changes such as full off-grid living. These paths demand time, sustained attention, and ongoing practice. Another category involves informational consumption. Books, courses, online communities, and preparedness guides attempt to organize large bodies of knowledge into actionable frameworks. The friction here is cognitive rather than physical. Materials may be dense, fragmented, or optimized for enthusiasts rather than general households. Information overload can become a barrier rather than a solution, particularly when preparation competes with everyday obligations. Across these approaches, a consistent tension appears. Higher levels of depth and customization usually correlate with higher demands on time, money, and technical competence. Lower effort options often trade detail and adaptability for accessibility. Dark Reset positions itself within this problem space as an informational product designed to reduce decision friction rather than maximize technical sophistication. Dark Reset is a digital preparedness guide delivered as a structured informational package. It does not present itself as equipment, a service, or a training program requiring external facilitation. Its core function is instructional, offering a consolidated framework intended to be read or reviewed independently. The product focuses on general household resilience concepts rather than specialized survival disciplines. Its scope centers on scenarios involving infrastructure disruption, such as power loss, supply interruptions, or reduced institutional availability. The material is organized to emphasize sequencing and prioritization rather than exhaustive coverage of individual techniques. Conceptually, Dark Reset frames preparedness as a systems thinking exercise. Instead of isolating single problems, such as food, water, or security, it groups household functions into categories that are affected by shared dependencies. The content avoids technical deep dives and does not rely on advanced scientific explanation. It remains at a descriptive level, outlining what categories of preparation exist and how they relate to one another. Delivery is digital, allowing the material to be stored, duplicated, or accessed offline once downloaded. There is no live component, scheduled interaction, or requirement for ongoing updates to engage with the core content. Interaction with Dark Reset is primarily passive. Use typically involves reading or reviewing the material in segments rather than continuous engagement. The time required to consume the core content is limited compared to multi-week courses or extended manuals. The guide is structured to allow selective reading. Sections are designed to stand independently, enabling users to focus on specific categories without progressing linearly through the entire document. This supports intermittent use rather than sustained immersion. Implementation, if any, occurs outside the product itself. Dark Reset does not include check-ins, accountability systems, or interactive exercises. It does not require specialized environments, tools, or software. The environmental requirement is minimal: access to the downloaded material and sufficient time to review it. Repeatability is informational rather than procedural. Users may revisit sections as reference material rather than as part of a scheduled routine. The product does not prescribe repetition, drills, or ongoing practice cycles. Dark Reset aligns most clearly with individuals who have low tolerance for complexity, but still want a structured overview of preparedness considerations. It may suit those who are unwilling or unable to commit to extensive training, equipment acquisition, or lifestyle modification. The product favors simplicity over customization. People who benefit from concise frameworks, broad categorization, and narrative explanation may find it compatible with their decision style. It reduces the need to reconcile multiple sources by presenting a single, consolidated perspective. Conversely, individuals seeking highly technical instruction, specialized skill development, or scenario-specific planning are likely to find the format limiting. Those already engaged in advanced preparedness practices may view the content as introductory rather than additive. The guide also assumes a preference for self-directed interpretation. There is no adaptive feedback or personalization. Users who rely on coaching, instruction, or interactive validation may find the experience incomplete. Compared to equipment-based preparedness strategies, Dark Reset requires minimal upfront investment in time or logistics. It does not introduce maintenance obligations or dependency on physical assets. This simplicity comes at the cost of specificity, as it cannot account for regional variation, household size, or individual constraints beyond general categories. In contrast to long-form manuals or technical courses, the product compresses information into a narrower scope. It trades depth and customization for consistency and ease of consumption. This makes it more accessible, but less adaptable. Dark Reset does not attempt to replace comprehensive planning systems or hands-on preparation. Instead, it occupies a position closer to orientation material, a structured overview that clarifies what types of considerations exist and how they interrelate. There is no emphasis on optimization, performance, or outcome measurement. The product does not frame preparedness as a progression or achievement. It remains informational in nature. The material concludes without asserting sufficiency or necessity. It exists as one informational format among many, defined more by what it omits than by what it claims.